This is something that in my heart I'm passionate about, and I hope I can express it correctly. And I feel like I might even talk about it more than just once the deeper I guess I get into it with my own personal experience. But my God, like we have so much power in us, so much potential. Like there is so much more to be experienced than what we do experience now as what we call ourselves human or people, what I like to call planetary entity operators. Like as living whatever this is on this plane of existence, like in these lives that we live, there is so much power, such a depth of power. Personally, I believe, well, I'm not going to say that, but I'm going to say I believe the truth is far more than people can conceptualize right now as their mind is. And on one hand, on one hand, it's like it hurts me a lot to consider that if we as the I'll just say if individuals refuse to seek out that power, and unfortunately now it seems to require some sort of suffering, but maybe that's not unfortunate. I got to get into a video about suffering and sacrifice and stuff, but it hurts me to see that we're in a position where the reason people won't go down that path of iduku idukare, of drawing out that which is within, is because of that gate of suffering or sacrifice or whatever we want to say is there. And it's tough because I know how much I know how much, well, I can't even say I know how much, but I know that there's an extreme depth in the power that we do possess already that we just aren't using, right? Like imagine if a person no imagine if a horse was trained to only walk around, or maybe like it grew up from a baby to a mature a horse in its prime, and it lived that whole time inside of a house or inside of a barn or inside of a pen, right? And then one day it got released and it could do whatever it wanted, so to speak, and that horse only walked around. Like, you see what I'm saying? That's a horse has so much power. It's literally built to run and trot and gallop and move. It's got a giant heart for the sake of that running, and that running free and wild and fast and stuff. And to never do that is, I consider it to be disrespectful to the nature of that horse. And it's the same with us, where we got all this power, but we live these minuscule lives and these sad, sick lives. And I mean, and life is good too, don't get me wrong, but we live this life below our means, and it feels so disrespectful to me because I won't say it's everybody, even though I know it is, but there are ones that have this great power and we don't even access it fully, or even to some growing extent. And it's that horse that doesn't run. Like it's it's sad to see in a way, because it's wasted potential, yeah, but it's like you weren't even built for that. And a lot of us, and you if you know, you know, but like individuals suffer, and the majority of the reason why they suffer is because you aren't living as you were made to live. You aren't living the life you were made for. Like there are ones among us who were literally put together in a very specific way, literally made for being extremely powerful, like literally made to rule and exert great force in this plane of existence and to cause things to happen. And every part of them is built and prepared for that. Their hearts, their minds, souls, gut instincts, like reflexes, all types of stuff. They're literally built completely for this great power and to have an effect on the world and the world around them and others that are in that world, right? And I mean, I guess if there's good, there's bad. So there's some that's built for causing destruction with that power, but even that is a part of it. And I mean, I can't even get mad at it because you see it already, you know, and it's a balance thing. So that's a good thing. But I'm talking about the ones who are built for that greatness. And it's almost irritating or frustrating because even just to talk about it now is, it feels below its means because I can only, I'm only choosing now to speak on a level that can be directly comprehended. But I feel like maybe some individuals watching this can kind of look underneath the underneath, as it said, and see what I mean by like power beyond the normal or the current conception. Like there is literally ability and authority accessible to us at our fingertips. And a lot of it is stuff that people would tell you is impossible. I believe, and I've come to understand that impossible just means it hasn't been seen done yet, right? Like if somebody say it's impossible, it's because they never saw somebody do it. It was a time where somebody said it was impossible to run, I think it was a 100-yard dash in under 10 seconds or something like that. And then it was literally impossible. And then somebody did it. And then immediately after that, multiple people started to do it. So there really isn't any impossible. And it's interesting because usually that's how it works, where once something is proven possible that was previously impossible, then others begin to access it. But in regards to what I'm saying here about the power, like, man, there is so much capability, so much ability, so much authority that we possess as individuals, and that's within us. And it's almost like it's locked away because we lock it away because of training and because of the way we think and feel, and we're taught to think and feel, and the way our predecessors thought and felt, you know what I'm saying? And all of this reinforced trauma, repetition, and symbols, and all of this stuff piled on top of all of this truth. And it's like the truth is there. The spark is eternal. The fire doesn't die out. But it's stuff on top of it, and we just leave the stuff on top of it. And even at a lot of the times you live in this regular life enough, as you grow older, you'll get more stuff that you can choose to put on top of it. And it's like, if you don't choose to put the stuff on top of it, you'll start to suffer because you're not fitting into the regular life, you know? So it's designed that way for you to keep burying that spark and keep burying that internal power and that internal fire. But it's so, I guess I'm so passionate about it, and I'm so like angry about it because it's there, and we simply have to pull it out. We have to dig it up, unbury the fire, right? And then kindle it and build it into this great flame that it's meant to be. And I believe it's an infinite power. Like there's no cap. We're just supposed to keep generating more and better and different and more different experience with this power, and to create and destroy and operate. But, or should I say generate, destroy, and operate. But anyways, like it's there for us. And it hurts in a way to know that, or not, it doesn't even hurt, but I can feel it, and it maybe irritates me or it sparks me or something. Like there's a feeling behind the idea that a lot of the reason why we won't dig up that fire and like draw out that power is because of the fact that it's hard to do. And it's like the only reason it's hard to do is because of all the stuff piled on top of it and all the training and all the da 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 da. But I mean, I guess they say most things that are valuable, you know, have a hard aspect to it, or however it goes, you know, that's the concept. But that power is there, and it's been there, and it's gonna continue to be there. And it's not only our ability and our authority, not only our power, but also our right, and in a sense our inheritance. Like it's ours to use, to draw out, and we get the free will, we get the choice to do it or not. And so many people have lived and gone and lived, and life is, like I said earlier, life is good, and it's a purpose to living life without accessing it. It's a purpose to living life in a certain way. It's all experience, and it's all for the greater good. But to consider that, I mean, maybe it's for me personally, but also like my children, my children's children, my loved ones, to consider that we could have this truth in us and then live a lie. And the only reason we choose, because it's literally our choice, we choose to live a lie, is because, for one, it's hard, and because, two, we've been lied to. And maybe we've even been lied to about how hard it really is, because once you get your mindset right, it becomes a lot less harder. But even to go from a poor mindset to a appropriate mindset can be hard. Can be. It doesn't have to be, I would assume, but it's hard for me. And it's not even hard, it's challenging. And that's a big difference between hard and challenging. Challenging is important, right? And that's the thing, is like this suffering that I've been saying this whole time is it's a matter of this challenge. And a lot of us are led astray and misled and misinformed into a path of avoiding accessing these powers, even on a small level that grows, or even just a small level. We're avoiding it because of the challenge that's there and that's immediate. And a lot of times it may look bigger than it is, but regardless, it is still a challenge, especially depending on your own personal situation. Then again, everybody's situation is balanced in a way. Like it's exactly right for you. Your challenge is right for you. But maybe this is just my speaking to myself, but also to those with the hearts, minds, ears, whatever, souls, whatever, to hear and understand what I'm saying. Is like, man, let us begin to accept that challenge of drawing out that power, drawing out that fire more and more, and to not limit ourselves to our own conceptions. I got a quote that says, you create the limitations by the boundary, by the self, you create the limitation by the self-imposed boundaries of your thoughts. You create the limitation by the self-imposed boundaries of your thoughts, right? And so I'm saying, let us grow and draw out this great power and avoid creating the limitation by our own self-imposed boundaries, by our own thoughts, you know? I believe that to do so can create and generate and bring about a great world that every pure heart, every pure-hearted baby, every pure-hearted individual, because as we grow, that's when we become corrupted and stuff through certain life experiences. And I believe through accessing this power and doing what's right with it, we can not only save those pure hearts and give them a grand experience and a beautiful experience and an experience of what life truly is and is about. And I guess, again, this is life also, but what life could be, I should say, but also to generate a world and a space where that aspect of corrupted life, the ones that we've seen so far for centuries or whatever the case may be now, that aspect of corrupted life is a thing of the past, a thing of history that we can learn from and grow from, right? I'm just saying, imagine a world where individuals with good hearts are powerful, right? And you could even see that in some cases, like with the current form of power, which is money. When you get somebody with a good heart with money, they make a difference. Now, imagine if there was a power greater than money. There is, by the way, many of them. But imagine if that individual with that right heart had access to those powers greater than money, or those powers greater than the current conception. What would that equate to? Many things, right? Good and bad, I suppose. There's pros and cons to everything. But one very large thing that would bring about and generate is if those individuals, those right hearts, had a greater power, it would generate a greater change. So I guess maybe a part of it too is there's more to this whole story of life and existence and stuff. And it's our choice to access it. So yeah. Much love. Yeah, man, let's access it. I mean, I'm sure if you stuck around this long, you probably on some level already on that journey of doing so. So maybe this is an encouragement or a confirmation, or I don't know what. I guess we'll see when that comes. But yeah, much love.